baby! It's on, baby! It's on, baby!
Welcome to Football Friday, brought to you by Donato's Pizza, Subs, and Salads. We've reached week 13, and it's our last full Football Friday show of the season. I'm Eric Elkin.
And I'm James Ryder, trying to get warm after the cold week 13.
We begin with our final Football Friday game of the week this season. Regional finals are upon us, and in Region 18 of Division 5, neither team has lost, but one of these teams has had a dream season, while the other is exactly where it's used to being.
Yeah, Brookville and Coldwater, each 12-0. Blue Devils are in the midst of arguably their best season in program history and trying to make the state semifinals for only the second time ever. Now, Brookville was the state runner-up back in 1976, so you could say that was easily their best season ever. But Coldwater's made the Final Four 12 times since 1995. Well, on the Cavs' first possession, Jack Hemmelgarn going up top. Aaron Harlever, top 22 selection, comes down with it, and that sets up Chris Post running into the end zone and right into our camera nearly. It's 7-0 Coldwater, and that's the score going into the second quarter. Hemmelgarn rolls out, and he throws downfield again, once again, connecting with top 22 selection Aaron Harlever. This time, it's for 6, and it's 14-0 Cavs. Brookville, though, finally gets going as Harry Hall breaks off a big run right up the middle, dragged down from behind on a touchdown-saving tackle. Then Justin Heck, he's going to channel his inner Johnny Manziel, sporting the number 2, and chucks it on the scramble drill. Austin Delk wide open downfield, fights his way in, 14-7. Now it's 17-7 at the half. In the third, Hemmelgarn, short strike to Kyle McKibben, who's also the team's kicker. And then it's Post polishing off another regional championship for Coldwater. Brookville would score one more late, but the Cavaliers win 31-13.
Nobody wants to let down the program. It's the same kids that grew up since they were in kindergarten. So there's no new guys, there's no different guys, and they're really proud of keeping that playoff streak going.
For the first time since 2007, Trotwood actually didn't win the GWAC North. After stunning back-to-back losses to Troy and Piqua in weeks 7 and 8, we started to wonder a bit.
But star running back Ravion Hargrove was hurt for those games, and with all due respect to the rest of the team, he's the game changer, and since being back from injury, he's racked up more than, wait for it, 1,300 yards and 19 touchdowns, and that's in his last 4 games.
4 games.
4 games.
That's a full season and then some, or a career for some players. Those numbers are absurd. It's a rematch against Wapakoneta. The Rams won this in double OT last year. Very first play from scrimmage, Redskins cough up the football. Rams pounce on it. Davon Duverglass with the recovery. Trotwood gets the ball, starts feeding it to its sensational sophomore, Ravion Hargrove, taking over on the opening drive for the Rams. He may not be bigger than most, but I'm going to say he's tougher. And here's the proof in the pudding. Hargrove powers his way up the middle, scores, and then look at him just truck stick that dude who's probably a foot taller than him. Rams on the board first. Next drive, Wapak shooting itself in the foot some more. Fumble on the toss. Trotwood recovers again. Ensuing drive, here's a critical 4th down play in Wapak territory. Markel Stevens peppers the sophomore scrambling, hits Jordan McConnell to get a fresh set of downs, and that sets up Hargrove. He's in again, was averaging 101 yards and a touchdown per quarter through the first 3. Finished with 32 carries, 343 yards. Here's his 3rd touchdown of the night. Trotwood wins its 6th straight regional championship, 33-30.
Well, Minster and Fort Recovery meet in a rematch in Division 7. Wildcats won 14-12 in Week 7. Well, it's Fort Recovery striking first this time. Caleb Martin keeping the ball on the sweep. It's 6-zip Fort Recovery, but Minster answers quickly. Evan Huelsman on the little touchdown run makes it 7-6. Then it's Josh Nixon, the top 22 selection, to Jacob Dews. It's 14-6 Wildcats. Well, Indians were facing 3rd and long at the end of the first, and Martin, flush from the pocket, throws deep to Brandon Shane. Big pickup there, and on the first play of the second quarter, Martin finds Tanner Cook in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. 2-point conversion, though, no good, so it's 14-12, just like Week 7. But there would be more scoring this time. After a short Minster possession, Caleb Martin, the deep ball to Wes Wenning into the end zone. 2-point again, no good. It's 18-14 Fort Recovery. In the third, how about Will Homan running 59 yards to pay dirt? kick goes off the uprights. It's 27-14. Man, they cannot convert extra points in this one, but then it's Homan again, making it 33-14. Minster tries to get it going in the fourth quarter. Evan Hulsman runs up the middle, but it's too little, too late. Fort Recovery, your winner.
Welcome back to Football Friday. Messiah DeWeaver transferred to Wayne this past offseason with one goal in mind: to win a state championship. Well, the Warriors were one win away a year ago without him, and just 3 wins away this season. It's a perfect 12-0 start to the year so far for Wayne, which really hasn't been tested so far this season, save for the 1 2-point game against Moeller, but that was all kind of in garbage time. But there's a good chance that will change tomorrow night against Hilliard-Davidson. DeWeaver's led the way for an incredibly deep and talented Warriors team. The Michigan State commit's thrown 29 touchdown passes to just 2 interceptions. But this week, he'll face a unique challenge in a game that features 2 teams with very contrasting styles. While Wayne likes to run and gun, Hilliard-Davidson,
they're just like a machine. That's the best way to describe them. They just everything's in unison. All their players are so disciplined and unified. So it's going to be tough to break them a little bit, and we got to make sure we don't play their game, because they are like ball control offense, and they use that as part of their defense as well.
They're a team that likes to hold the ball for long times, periods of time. So we know we have to get in there and make most of our opportunities on offense and help the defense out by scoring every time we get the ball.
that's a good plan. Wayne gets the advantage here in terms of location, only having to make the short trip down to Welcome Stadium. Kickoff against Hilliard-Davidson set for 7, with a berth to the state semifinals on the line. Don't forget, if you missed any of the highlights from tonight or just want to watch them again, you'll be able to find them all on our website. Head to fox45now.com and click on Football Friday under the Sports tab. We'll post the highlights from every show shortly after we're off the air.
There's a few games that I circle on the calendar as matchups that you just love to see. We get one such game tomorrow night as Mechanicsburg and Marion Local meet in the regional final. In my opinion, these are the 2 best teams in the state in Division 6. And Saturday, there's going to be no shortage of talent on the field.
What I see out of Mechanicsburg is I've seen teams like this win state titles before.
We're excited, though. I mean, we've been waiting all year for this. If we want to win state, which is our goal, we're going to have to beat Marion Local.
Unbeaten Mechanicsburg is led by Caleb Romero. The junior has thrown for nearly 1,800 yards this season, while rushing for more than 1,500.
He's a difference maker. There's no doubt about it. And when the difference maker is at quarterback, he's got the ball in his hands every time.
They're a great team. They got a lot of weapons out there. That's what makes them most dangerous. We just got to play them all and just play flyer football out there.
But Marion Local has no shortage of weapons offensively either. Headlined by top 22 selection Hunter Wilker, the 11-1 Flyers have won 4 straight state championships.
It's a great challenge. I mean, any time that you get to go up against a team that's accomplished the things they've accomplished and done the things they've done, I mean, it's one of the greatest runs in Ohio high school football history, in my opinion.
But the biggest question everyone has surrounding Mechanicsburg is that the Indians haven't been tested all season. They've not only scored the most points in Division 6, but they've allowed the fewest. However, playing Marion Local will push Mechanicsburg unlike any other game they've ever played.
We want to prove to people that we can get hit in the mouth, but we're going to punch you right back, and we're going to fight you.
Everybody sees what happens on Friday nights, but they don't see what happens on Saturday mornings and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday afternoons. We create a lot of adversity in our culture and our practice, and we make sure that these kids have a lot of pressure on them.
Marion Local and Mechanicsburg play for the Division 6 Region 22 regional title. It's tomorrow night at 7 in Bell Fountain. Also tomorrow, Fenwick puts its unbeaten record on the line after beating Alter for the 2nd time this season, and that was last week. The Falcons in a regional final matchup in Division 4 with Clinton Massey, who's used to being in this game. The 2 teams will kick off at 7 at Doug Adams Stadium in Xenia. And you can get involved with us on Twitter. We want you to. Tweet us your pictures, videos, anything at ABC22 Fox 45. Tweet us your score from the game that you're at. Keep us updated. You can follow myself at JamesR2245, as well as Eric at Eric2245.
Doug's making tonight's delivery from Donato's Pizza Subs and Salads. He's brought us their newest pizza. It's the Pepperoni Bacon Duo, which includes hardwood smoked bacon, Canadian bacon, Donato's famous heritage pepperoni, and aged smoked provolone cheese. It comes in 4 size options, plus a gluten-free version. Any size Pepperoni Bacon Duo pizza is now on sale for just $1 more than the price, of a 1-topping pizza. Doug also brought us Donato's famous 100-piece pepperoni pizza, their party-size boneless wings, their fresh garden salad, plus what you're seeing there, their fantastic apple crisp and cinnamon dessert timpanos.
I like the timpanos.
Yes, you do. I saw you eating it out there. I can attest to that.
I think I had almost all of it.
Call your neighborhood Donato's Pizza Subs and Salads or order online at Donatos.com. Don't forget Donato's caters office parties and business lunches as well. It's all from Donato's Pizza Subs and Salads, where every piece is important. Well, it's another huge week of college football. The top 5 in this week's college football playoff standings remain the same, with Ohio State at number 3, Iowa still unbeaten at number 5, and the Hawkeyes likely to be the representative in the Big Ten title game from the West. Ohio State can clinch at least a share of the East with a win over Michigan State, which moved up 4 spots to number 9 this week. The Bucs' opponent next week, Michigan, up to number 12. So in case you haven't gathered by that, this is a huge game for Ohio State. It's also the first time the Bucs will face a ranked opponent this season. Ohio State and Michigan State was the game just about everyone had circled on the calendar at the beginning of the season. Despite Sparty's slip up against Nebraska, it's still the biggest game of the year to date, and a win clinches at least a share of the Big Ten East for the Buckeyes. Urban Meyer says he hasn't had to address the playoff standings to his team, but that doesn't mean his players aren't aware of how the Bucs will be perceived coming out of this one.
People are still unsure of what we got. And, I mean, it's a statement game. It's a game we've been waiting for all season, and I mean, it's a good game against what other people will recognize as good competition, and it's a game to go out there and show who we are and what we can do.
I think there's identification of where we're not 9 strong yet, and we're working awful hard to get there. And it's not one unit. It's this game. It wasn't quite where we needed to be. And we're seeing a little bit of this, which I'm fine with that. If you see 2 or 3 dog units, we got a problem, like we had a couple years ago. We don't have that. We don't have that. Every once in a while, a unit does, and I feel in the room there's such an urgency to get that fixed that I think that's the term culture comes in, and so everyone's is very workmanlike and businesslike.
Ohio State and Michigan State live on ABC 22 tomorrow at 3:30. But don't change the channel after the game. We'll bring you a live post-game show from Columbus, including Urban Meyer's full post-game press conference. That's tomorrow after the game. Coming up next on Football Friday, it's also a busy weekend of college basketball. Archie Miller said something I totally wasn't expecting. What he said and why. Next.
Now we're just going to get ready for a really, really good William & Mary team, which will be about as scary of a team as we'll play.
Yeah, when Archie Miller said that Tuesday after UD's 32-point win over Alabama, my ears kind of perked up because I don't think most hear William & Mary and think scary.
Well, it's only 2 people, right? Well, anyways, it's a team that's off to a 3-0 start, including a 17-point win. 17 points at NC State on opening night.
That's impressive. But if you still think Archie's just offering up some coach speak when raving about the Tribe, well, here's why he calls William & Mary scary.
Our team last year had an NBA player get drafted. They have everybody else back. And they're very difficult to guard on offense. They come from a philosophy like a Davidson, like a Michigan, like a Princeton or Richmond, where the skill level on the floor spaces you and they run you around. And we're going to have matchup problems. We're going to have to guard the three-point line. We're going to have to be much, much better taking care of the ball against their changing defenses. To me, I don't feel good on any game, but this is a very, very scary game for us.
Archie's got me convinced now. This should be a good one. UD puts its 24-game home win streak on the line again against William & Mary tomorrow at 2. This the last game for the Flyers before they head to Orlando. Next week, of course, for 3 games in 4 days. They'll start with Iowa, and then we'll see who they play in the other 2 games. That is at the Advocare Invitational. Time now for our Play of the Week here on Football Friday. James was there, so James, why don't you do this?
Well, you enjoyed this one. I mean, it's Justin Heck.
I thought it was Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel running around, just throw up a prayer, and Austin Delk wide open. 24-yard touchdown. It was 14-7 at this point, but Coldwater just too much. I mean, I'm just impressed. Brookville's not a passing team, so able to maneuver around and then get open. But Coldwater ultimately wins this one.
I thought you were going to make like a Justin Heck reference. What the heck, I'll just strike down the field. I'm sorry, that was lame. All right, our scoreboard is powered by ScoreStream. In case you missed some of the scores from earlier, we're going to recap some of those, but we're also going to look ahead to tomorrow's games. 3 more big ones tomorrow at the other divisions. But first tonight, Trotwood gets the win, 6th straight regional championship over Wapakoneta, 33-3. As we just showed you, Coldwater beats Brookville 31-13. Also tonight, Fort Recovery tops Minster. Minster, defending state champ in Division 6. Now they're in Division 7.
Well, Wayne and Hilliard-Davidson, they're going to meet in Division 1 at Welcome Stadium. Very contrasting styles in this one. And then
Marion local
my
in
favorite game of the
Mechanicsburg.
night.
James is really excited about this one. That is at the Division 6 level.
And then we're in Division 4, we've got Clinton Massey and Fenwick. See who comes out as the regional champ there.
We'll have highlights of all those games tomorrow. We'll have highlights of UD William Mary. We'll have highlights of Ohio State, Michigan on ABC 22, plus a post-game show. It'll be busy. We'll see you then.